Hello, I'm Thomas Carruthers.
And I'm Katrina Unit.
We are, and we're coming close, Katrina. We're coming close to the end. We've got other exciting projects coming in the year. We're going to do a whole Denis Villeneuve later. Very exciting. But Mission Impossible, a personal project for us both. Just great films. We're in Rogue Nation territory. We're in Mcquarrie territory, most importantly. And I've got some changes, but I have to say, this morning I absolutely blown away again by Rogue Nation.
I mean, obviously Ghost Protocol is like the start to that rise up. This is it really does set the bar for what a Mission Impossible film could be.
You have to get through 12 feet of concrete and 70,000 gallons of pressurized water without any metal.
No oxygen tanks.
Benji, stand by to receive.
Ethan, you ready?
Important point. If you haven't opened that hatch after 2.5 minutes, we're both dead.
No.
Ethan, do you copy?
Ethan, abort!
Abort now!
Whoa. Are you okay to drive? I mean, a minute ago you were dead.
What are you talking about?
This is not going to end well. Mr. Chairman, the time has come to dissolve the IMF. It's not just a rogue organization. It is a disgraced one.
And then obviously Fallout comes. It's just this is Mcquarrie is the right choice for Mission Impossible. He understands it.
This has a lot of the drama and mixed with a lot of the fun.
Shutting down the IMF is a mistake you may regret. This is Brent.
Go secure.
Go.
The Syndicate is real, and they know who we are. The Rogue Nation, trained to do what we do.
An anti-IMF.
They're coming after us with everything they've got.
Oh, boy.
You want to bring down the Syndicate? It's impossible.
Take your position.
I have eyes.
The show is about to start.
Got it. You and your team will answer for every wanton act of mayhem you are responsible for.
Now we are all wanted by the CIA. Awesome.
Get your seatbelt on. You want to be that now?
And I feel, my favorite probably still is first Mission Impossible. Probably my love of De Palma. I love it. I love dark movies. I later in this year, I forced David and Reen to watch 45 Years, a movie where a couple contemplates their marriage after 45 years of marriage and all that. And they started, and the minute they started having a depressing conversation, Reen went to David, "Oh yeah, this is a big Tom film."
This may be our last mission. Let's make it count.
Open the door!
Come on.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Benji, open that door right now!
Oh my God!
So I feel like that's my vibe. But so I do like the darkness of Mission Impossible and the intrigue and the perversions
It's
within
the most, as we said like before, each film is kind of its own genre. Less so Rogue Nation and Fallout, they're kind of in one, but especially the first one. To me, the first one is that's a spy film.
It's a very slick thriller, whereas this feels like a very expansive modern action film.
Yeah, it does feel so different to other action films, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah. We know you're not a Bond person.
No,
Where
No,
else
not.
do you stray in the world of action? I don't think
Well,
we've had this conversation yet.
I suppose I'm thinking like, the campy kind of action, like
Yeah.
that's quite popular nowadays. Like your Fast and Furious, I guess that's action. Like those kind of films, though. It's so different. It's quite artistic, actually.
It's just very, very, very well done, and I like action. I like a lot of action, but yes, I don't. I think Seth Rogen's talked about this before, where he's on about the death of comedy movies in the mainstream, and he basically says comedy movies are dead because Marvel movies are comedy movies, and I think you can say that less so with action, but it is sort of the same ballpark of. We don't get many action movies anymore because all the action movies are more fucking Marvel movies.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I like Marvel. I mean, haven't seen Shang-Chi, which I'm filming is the most recent one. I haven't seen Black Widow either, but I do enjoy Marvel, but I agree. Like it's kind of that's it for films.
It's horrible, and I'm going to stop this conversation now before I shoot myself. Let's talk about Christopher Macquarie. So obviously he writes Usual Suspects. That's the big spec script that brings him into the world. I remembered rightly. He wins Best Original Screenplay. Obviously sets the world ablaze with that incredible film that people don't return to now, I guess, because of Kevin, and Bryan Singer's also a bloody pederast. But whenever you do watch Usual Suspects, you are immediately astounded once again by just how incredible film it actually is. And most of it is down to Spacey, although people don't like to admit it anymore. But the second biggest factor for me has always been that Mcquarrie script.
Yeah.
The sensational intricacy of it. And I feel like you can see a lot of that intricacy and a lot of those different plots and all these fun, interesting characters brought into the world of Mission Impossible.
Much like detail. Like I don't know, like the last two films, and I fingers crossed the next one, is going to be the same. But it's like this detail, this like level of detail, like I suppose is only really seen in like a Bond film. But I mean, I haven't seen the latest Bond film, but
none of us have seen. Yeah. Oh.
But I've heard some interesting. Apparently, he said to a film critic, Sam Mendes, that he hadn't finished the script when they started filming.
Oh, Spectre. Yes. No. This is true. Yeah. There was because Sam Mendes wasn't supposed to do it. It was supposed to be Danny Boyle, and Danny Boyle was going to make it all about.
Who's the director
Russia.
of No Time?
Cary Fukunaga, who directed all of the first season of True Detective. He did the Jane Eyre with Michael Fassbender and Judi Dench, which is very good. He did Beasts of No Nation, which I thought was fine. And he lost basically 5 years of his life making it, only for his it to be cancelled to make way for what's his name? No, it's not Joe Mantegna.
No, it's not. Definitely not. Definitely not him.
I know it's not Joe Mantegna, but he's got a name. It's directed by Andy Muschietti, and it came to me literally before I scrolled. I don't know where Joe Mantegna came from. But yeah, that's kind of where he lost 5 years of his life, because it was going to be darker. It wasn't going to have the gangbang, but it was going to be darker and more close to the book.
But yeah, going back to Rogue Nation, it's got this like level of, I don't know, it's very like every single shot just feels so purposeful.
Yes, and it doesn't feel, it's not that all of the set pieces are equally as good, however, none of them are bad. It's not like, as much as I enjoy the Lao scenes in The Dark Knight, that is the easiest cut in the world that anybody could ever make in a movie ever. And even though I do like the whole Morgan Freeman, I've already got my phone, I like that 20 minutes, but it's just so easy.
Yeah. And
another
thing I want to say about Rogue Nation and Fallout from a feminist perspective,
Mm.
the way
Finally got the woman you want.
yeah, and she's sexy, but she isn't sexualized. Even the scene where she's got her leg up, it's purposeful. It's for a reason.
Yeah.
It's not a gratuitous shot. I suppose there is the shot where she comes out of the pool.
Well, I was going to put this. I've actually got this in specific favorite part because I think, I guess it kind of has its cake and eats it, because they walk in and they've got their sunglasses on, and I'm a huge Bond guy, and we've seen that so many times, and I've forgotten it, and I was expecting da, 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 and then she slowly comes out, and the first thing we see, she's popping up and she's preparing for the water thing, and I thought, oh great, and then obviously she does have to get out.
But also at the same time, it's almost like she knows what she's doing.
Yes,
she's purposefully trying to seduce Ethan in a way. I think she's kind of using her sexuality in a way that benefits her. And we see that a lot in her fighting as well, how she uses her, you know, like her thighs and her legs, which are arguably the strongest part of her. She uses that in her fighting technique.
Yes, she does.
It's not pretending she's not a woman. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I feel like I recently watched Basic Instinct with two people who had never seen it, and like it's you know, it's a different I think because we're kind of having the same conversation, because that's again written and directed by men, but for me, I think it's more so elevated here. I think obviously Rogue Nation's a modern movie and Basic Instinct's the 90s. But for me, it's just so clear in Sharon Stone's performance, and definitely in Rebecca Ferguson's, that she knows every single inch of where she's putting every single part of her, and every single line. She's just playing with these stupid men who just want to fuck her. And you know, it's the Robin Williams joke: God gave man a head, two heads, and only enough blood to run one at a time. And for me, Basic Instinct so still works that, you know, I guess you could in a sort of proto-feminist, well, not proto-feminist because it's the 90s, but in that feminist way, because Sharon Stone and the character of Catherine Trammell knows exactly what she's doing at every single turn. And I feel like we get that here as well.
Yeah, I do find whoever did the fight choreography, especially for the scene, you know, where Ethan's tied up, which arguably she's the dominant, he's the vulnerable one. She, you know, he's the one who needs her help. She's on top in a way, you know, and she would be on top.
Which definitely, definitely intermittently. I know, like Ethan's got the drive. Ethan's got.
But for me, their relationship, it's quite pure.
It is a bit like, you've never watched Mad Men, but it is that thing of Don and Peggy. Less so because that's father and daughter. But like, I remember near season 6 of Mad Men, a lot of people going, wait, are Don and Peggy going to get together? And I feel like it's this kind of same thing here with Ethan and Ilsa of, like, okay, fine. Mission Impossible 8. Tom Cruise has signed off. It's going to be his final film. No. This is hypothetical. Don't worry. But whatever Mission Impossible movie it is, would you be content in a Dark Knight Rises, Ilsa and Ethan sat in a cafe? Would you be? I would be too. I would be too. And I don't. Yeah.
It's this like they both. I don't know. They deserve it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's loads of that Kylo and Rey stuff, and all the stunning of that, and we're still stunning Ethan and Ilsa.
It's just, I don't know.
I think it's because she instigates it in this movie. I think if it was the thing of that we've seen so many times where the man is just like these strong women who they've fallen for. I mean, obviously Mad Men deconstructs it, and you know, Rachel, you know, goes back. No, you don't want to run away with me. You just want to run away. No, but whatever. This is like, you don't want to run away with me. You just want to run away. And I feel like the fact that she instigates it in this one, and it's not Ethan going, "Come on, let's go somewhere." I feel like that also makes it a bit more digestible.
I really love her character. Like,
she's exceptional.
She's the woman you've been wanting the entire time in the franchise. You know,
yes,
she's not the Claire of the first film who's an absolute wet wipe. She's not Naya in the second one who she's really
who has promise,
and then nope.
Chimera.
Even she even has Naya has almost agency where she gives herself Chimera, and you're like, but then it's like nope, wet wipe again.
Yeah, I have to jump off a cliff.
3, Julia. I actually quite like Julia.
Yep. Yes.
And I think she gets. Talk about that in the next episode.
Yeah.
She gets more development in that one than I feel she almost did in the third one.
Yes, in that movie, she does for long stretches have to just be a wife, because that's quite literally her role. Is that she is a wife in the world that in Ethan's normal new life. So she does just have to be a wife. She can't be a spy. Although she does, of course, kill Crudup. Yeah, she kills Crudup. Yeah.
In 4, I'm not the biggest Jane fan. No. I think she was lacking. There was just something. I think that is a shame, because but I understand why they didn't bring it back for this film. Clearly, they also felt like it didn't work. Then you just get Ilsa, and you're like, ability. She's allowed to be vulnerable as a character, but she's also strong. She also has to be saved, but also she does the saving. And
this is so she was in. Yeah, lots of little small roles. She was in Hercules.
Yeah, was this her breakout?
This was her breakout. Yeah. Then she's in Girl on the Train, one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Terrible. Hated Girl on the Train. Then she was in Life, which I actually went to the cinema and watched and rather enjoyed quite a bit.
Is that with Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds? Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed Life quite a bit. The Snowman, which was a huge disaster. Greatest Showman. Jesus Christ.
Say what you want, but it was big. It was popular.
Yeah, so was the atomic bomb.
So dramatic.
Have you ever watched the SNL Taram Killer Jebediah Atkinson, where he reviews everything and he says that everything's the worst thing ever? He's like,
yeah,
that was like that. Yeah, so was the atomic bomb. Next, and then we finally get it back with Fallout, and then I don't want to say it's been downhill. And Dr. Sleep, I tell a lie, I really enjoyed Dr. Sleep. I thought she was excellent as Rose the Hat.
Haven't seen it.
Good. It's not good that you haven't seen it, but I rather enjoyed Dr. Sleep quite a bit. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, Mcquarrie seems to understand, and I'm assuming the script writer as well. I don't know who wrote the script.
Christopher Macquarie did.
He wrote the script as well.
Yes.
Okay, well, there you go.
Somebody else has a story credit as well. Drew Pearce, who
he seems to understand
Iron Man 3 and stuff.
He seems to understand female characters a bit more.
You got some food arrival.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Let the record show that Katrina asked for food and is now surprised that food is arriving.
No, the door just opened. I don't think there's anyone there. He understands. He definitely understands women a lot more than the previous films.
And he also has a screenplay credit on Edge of Tomorrow, which is another great, strong woman with Emily Blunt. And
I love that film. You know, I love that film.
Yeah, you do. And,
that to me is another great action sci-fi film.
Yeah, that's very good. And The Tourist, another great, strong female in Angelina Jolie. I'm kidding. Have you ever watched The Tourist, Katrina?
I have. I didn't really get, was he... Anyway, yeah.
I'm going to give you 3 guesses at what this director's called. It doesn't matter. Florian Henkel von Dannersmarck.
I would never have got. What a name!
What a man. He also wrote the Jack Reacher movie, which neither of us are fans of, really.
My mum loved the books.
It's really the best part of Jack Reacher, the film, is the fact that Rosamund Pike's the love interest. And I can only presume that they brought out the biggest apple crate in Tom Cruise's career.
Oh my god, yeah, 'cause she's tall. She is tall.
Is a stacked woman.
She's beautiful, but she's tall.
Absolutely astonishing. And yeah, I as our Gone Girl episode will unveil, I get it.
To me, Rosamund Pike is in the same league as Cate Blanchett in that kind of ethereal, otherworldly kind of beautiful, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
makes sense to me. It makes sense to me a lot.
And they're like the only two women I can think that fit.
Yeah, for me, Tilda goes too far the other way.
Yeah, she's a bit too alien rather than like I feel like I could see Rosamund as Galadriel, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense on the base level that I understand what you just said, but as somebody who famously doesn't care for the Lord of the Rings movies at all.
Yeah, no, but as in like.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? Rebecca Ferguson doesn't fit that. But my God, is she a beautiful woman?
I was just gonna say no.
You think no? I think she's such an interesting face. I've never seen a face like Rebecca Ferguson. I think that's what also makes it quite interesting. Is I'm like, like when he draws her face is so.
It is like Lecter when he's done the full drawing of Clarice in Silence of the Lambs. You're like, yeah, something's here. And also, I think I don't know the stats on this, but it feels more age appropriate.
I think she still is younger than him.
But yeah, definitely. So he's 59, obviously, and Rebecca Ferguson is currently 37. So yeah, so it's still 20 years, but there's something there. Katrina's frozen. In the meantime, box office budget 150 million, final box office 682.7 million. A very, very good showing at the box office. Just talked about the box office, big show, obviously. Back to discussing the wonderful beauty of and power and
age difference.
Age, that's what we were actually talking about.
We've talked about this before.
Trina's Wi-Fi went out again. Age
I'll
difference.
get it out quickly. I don't know exactly how old Ethan Hunt. Google says one thing. I argue differently. I argue he's quite a bit younger. So the age difference might actually not be too bad.
Have you been to the Cineworld since the cinemas have opened?
Not a Cineworld. Oh wait, no.
This will be dated by the time that this comes out, but obviously I go to the Cineworld all the time because I have a Cineworld Unlimited card. Ladies, no, and they play the exact same, and it's like 5 minutes long, and it's like, welcome back to the cinema. And it's all these actors talking about the cinema's great, we're all sad, and there's Rebecca Ferguson comes on and she says, and obviously I've seen it like 5 times, like every single day or whatever, and she goes, I just love the little chocolates that you eat and you snuggle up, and it's the way that she says chocolates and you snuggle up.
Is she Swedish?
Yes, I was going to mention this earlier, that both her and Sean Harris are of Swedish origin. I
did always think, their English accents are a bit weird.
Bizarre. Yes, she's got a spouse named Rory, who she married in 2019. Doesn't have a last name, apparently.
Oh, right.
She announced her pregnancy. They have a house in Richmond. Soap opera success. Yeah, it just says with her husband Rory. So I guess he's just a quote unquote civilian.
Just is a person somewhere.
Yeah.
In the
I always find that with like looking up like famous people who they were married to, that like Susan's like people like will marry 3 different actors and have these huge tumultuous relationships, and then will marry an unknown property developer.
And then they're together for like years,
20
like the rest
years.
of their
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. It's always like they married Robert De Niro, Harvey Keitel, Jack Nicholson, and then married the Prince of Denmark, and I've been happy
Or they'll like
since.
marry like a bricklayer from like, I don't know, Cornwall, and they'll be like, I'm happy now.
Yeah, no blame them. Like Film Stars Don't Die in Liverpool, a lovely movie. Let's get into the film itself. Best 10-minute stretch, Katrina. I don't know if you'll agree. I mean, I presume you'll agree with me. I've got here each of the sequences. The opening plane sequence. I'll just say them in full and then we'll break them down. Plane sequence, meeting Ilsa in that first Ilsa fight where, as we discussed, Ethan is tied up and Ilsa takes control. The opera sequence, I've put here the water thing, and the final sit down. I mean, that's just unequivocally excellent. Before we go into each one more specifically, is there a standout overall for you of those
Opera.
5 sequences? Yeah, opera.
Opera.
I mean, I am a
Without a doubt.
whore for opera in films.
And to me,
Frozen, one more time. While she's frozen, I'm going to talk about my favorite opera scenes in movies. Big fan of the one in The Talented Mr. Ripley. That's very fun with the ethereal Kate Blanchett. Big fan of the Godfather Part 3 opera sequence. I was just talking about my favorite opera sequences in movies, Katrina. And the movie Grand Piano, which is very, very good thriller. Katrina has frozen one more time. The movie Grand Piano is a great movie. Grand Piano is a great movie and also focuses around specific notes and people getting shot. Katrina.
I like the opera scene. I like how it works with music.
Yeah, and that plays wonderful incorporation into the rest of the film.
It has funny bits. I especially like when they're fighting for the gun and then they both stand up and the villain just keeps going and Tom Cruise is like, oh. And I like it because it's Tom Cruise has to sign off on everything. And that's him making fun of himself.
Yes. Do you know, like with the Fast and Furious thing, where like if somebody, like they all have to get punched the same amount in each film or something? I know, it's ridiculous. Whereas I feel like Tom, obviously, is an egomaniac, obviously. But I do feel like if he's got a Mcquarrie with him or whatever, and Mcquarrie says, no, this will be really funny if like you're like catching your breath. And then it's like in Sherlock Holmes where there's the fight and the big guy and he's like, ooh, one moment. Like I love stuff like that. And also, I'll shit on Marvel some more. I never am scared that any of these people are gonna. I mean, I'm not really scared that Ethan's gonna die, but like I'm never scared about anything ever. Whereas with your John Wicks and your movies like this, there is a tangible terror. Obviously, you know that Tom Cruise is never going to die, but I feel like as much as nobody ever does die, I think there's a world where I can believe.
Benji in this.
I was going to say,
you know?
yeah. I think there's a world where I can believe that Rogue Nation's going to have a really, really dark ending and Benji dies. Like that feels.
Same with Fallout.
Yes. Oh, very much with Fallout, which we will discuss. Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll have slightly better internet then.
Slightly. Rest in peace. No, the opera is definitely the best sequence. I adore it. It's so wonderful. I was enjoying Rogue Nation. The first time I ever watched Rogue Nation started off badly because there were these loud, rowdy kids who kept talking.
Oh, I remember you telling me this.
Oh my God, they kept talking. And I nearly stood, I had the moment, I was like, if I stand up now and say, be quiet, everybody's going to clap and really like me.
Slow clap.
And then they stopped. When the movie started. Thank God.
I do like the. I do like the opera scene.
Let's go
I
through
also
the
like.
rest. Yeah, go on.
I don't know if it's 10 minutes, but I do quite like the bit where he enters the record shop.
Yes, very good. I've got that.
Which I suppose leads into him being tied up. But
yes,
I like that bit. Because then you're like, we've not really seen him be captured that much at the beginning of the film. Obviously in 3, we see him tied up and then he's captured like towards the end of the film.
Yeah. Obviously, Mission Impossible, we're all in, and then there's that devastating death of everybody. But this is like immediately, oh shit, Ethan's been duped. Let's talk about the plane sequence. Obviously, this was the big thing at the time of the release. I feel like all of these movies have their own big thing. Obviously,
he's on the side of a plane.
From like Ghost Protocol onwards, of like, oh, he's on the world's tallest building. Here, he's grabbed onto a plane. Fallout had the whole, they're using real helicopters and all.
And he jumped out of the plane.
And him breaking his leg or whatever.
Oh yeah. And the his
fact
ankle,
that,
I think it was.
And the fact that just the words, Tom Cruise has broken his ankle, but they're keeping it in the film, was one of the most exciting phrases I've ever heard.
I wonder what it. Oh, there's a steam train. We've seen photos of the steam train for the next one.
Steam train, and there was the leaked thing of him motorcycling off a cliff with a parachute.
And he was also in a random curry house.
He was. He's just all over England, and just everybody loves.
I feel, you know what? So Rogue Nation has bits in England.
Yeah.
Fallout. Does Fallout have bits in England?
Most of Mission Impossible is in England.
I think Tom Cruise really likes England.
Yeah. Well, he spent 3 years of his life here filming Eyes Wide Shut.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because Kubrick wouldn't fly, so he made all these sets of New York.
That is so funny.
What a king. And I know it's not 3 years, but it is like a year or 2.
Well,
Trina's frozen again. I love Eyes Wide Shut.
And it's,
I love the movie Eyes Wide Shut.
Enough.
I love the movie.
No, I can.
I feel like she's in the Get Out sunken place. Let me talk about England.
Sorry.
It's all right. The water thingy. I feel like the water thingy is literally Mcquarrie going, I know I can't top Langley, but I want us to get back to Langley.
The vibes of Langley. Langley vibes.
Langley vibes. The exact same scene construction and delivery and showing what could go wrong and flashbacks and flash forwards.
I have another favourite bit. It's after the water bit, the car chase, the motorbikes. Yeah. There's a bit that makes me laugh so much. There's 2 bits that make me laugh so much in that bit as well. Is when like the 2 cars meet and you've got Luther and Brandt, and then you've got like Ethan and Benji in one car. Yeah. It's like and then they just drive, and that bit, like obviously Ethan being like completely out of it, and Benji's just there, and then you've got like the bit where they like drive off of it, and then they wake Benji up and he's like, ah! That bit always makes me laugh. But then you've got that cool scene of Tom Cruise in a flashy shirt on a motorbike. That's another big thing, because he actually did that with no protective gear.
It's just a cool guy. It's just like the best guy.
So cool.
Best guy. Tom Swindler's specific favourite about the film. Wrong door. Okay. The really sexy receptionist in the record store. That is like that was one of the most erotically charged conversations I've ever heard. Them talking about, he plays the drums. It was like, very so sexual. Really took me by surprise this morning. just very, very erotically charged.
And then she's dead.
She's like shot dead straight off.
Like really, she's dead.
And she is like crying, and she's got the Viola Davis fencer's snot.
Which I'd be the same.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah. For rest in peace, that incredibly attractive woman. The whole Syndicate vinyl reveal, the whole IMF would be correct. And then you see Tom Cruise, I keep saying Tom Cruise, you see Ethan like go, wait, that's not the right pronouns, that's not the right delivery. And then because you're behind as well, you're like, that didn't sound right, that's not the right way you say things. And then I think an ingenious little reveal.
What is your opinion on the villain?
Pronouns. No.
No, the villain.
Sean Harris. Right. Are we talking about Rogue Nation, or are we talking about the Mission Impossible series?
Both in this film and as villains go in the series.
I think he works well in this. He's your typical menacing European type. And he's frightening. I mean, the minute he shoots that woman, okay, he'll do anything. Bit nondescript.
He's too softly spoken.
Oh no, I don't mind that.
I don't know, like
hello.
Yeah, his voice goes streamy a little bit, which I suppose works because he's supposed to be a baddie, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. I think he's suitably menacing, and I think it works. But yeah, I think overall, I mean, you said already in the Mission Impossible 3 podcast about how you think that this would be a glorious return of Philip Seymour Hoffman, and of course, that would be great. But of course, gonna happen.
First of all, he died in the third film, and then died in real life.
Real life, yeah. But people die all the time in these movies. Like anybody can be. Not really. Actually, no. I take that back.
This is a good film series. If someone's dead, they're dead.
Yes. The minute that Kingsman 2 opened with them revealing the fucking suction thing where anybody, literally a shot in the head and you're alive. I mean, I actually liked Kingsman 2. I actually liked Kingsman 2. A little bit.
The first one, stand out. The second one.
Maybe it's because I've never gone in for the whole Taron Egerton, I'm Eggsy, I'm a fucking Eggsy. That like annoys me so much. I like Colin Firth, who doesn't? If I save the world, you can have sex with me in the bum, or whatever she said. I was sat between my dad and my granddad when that line was uttered. Trina's frozen again, and I'm not going to stay on the tangent of anal sex, so I'm going to just pause it a moment. Katrina's back. Trina, your opinions on them? No, I'm not saying that joke. My other specific favourite parts of the film. We're going to find Ethan Hunt today, 6 months later. Just a great gag.
Yes, that's a good gag. I also like, I don't know, it's not a gag, but I like when Benji's doing his thingy, polygraph test, and at the very end it goes bloop. Ooh, yeah. When no one's looking, it goes bloop. Bloop. Like, and I also really like, I really like Benji and Ethan. I really like how they bounce off of each other. I like when Benji's like, "You are my friend," and he's like shouting at him, and then Ethan's like, "Okay, damn, okay."
Slow down. I also have here. I had to, because Rebecca Ferguson is a long name, so I've put Ferg a couple of times, and I've put Becky Fergs. I put Becky Ferguson's like the dress and the leg movement, which we've already discussed, especially when she's like getting out of the Turando Tower. And she's just like flipping about like a goddamn whippet. She's insane. And jumping on the curtains and going, oh my God. I've put here sexy pool fake out, which we've already discussed. The dive into the pool, into the water thingy, just very satisfying. And the leitmotif of Nessun Dorma.
Love the music in this film.
Yes.
Beautiful, especially the music between. It's been like a few weeks since I've watched this film.
Yes.
Because obviously, for those who don't know, I was supposed to record and then I got very ill.
Yes.
So I didn't. But I'm pretty sure they love the song that plays whenever.
Nessun Dorma. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Turando. It's the opera. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. It's the but it's been rearranged.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And does it play again in Fallout, or do they?
No, they're saving that for the Mission Impossible 9 scene where Michael Caine goes to Italy and looks across a cafe and sees Ilsa. All I wanted, Mr. Hunt.
No, it'd be Luther.
Oh yeah.
Luther's in this film.
Luther is in this film. Two people in this film. Right, 3 people in this film that we've not talked about. Jeremy Renner. That's for a reason. Luther. Luther. Let's talk about Luther. But I mean, we talked about Luther. We love Luther.
He's like our favorite character. I don't know why.
Anytime Luther's around, it's a happy time. Well, I want to talk about one of my big guys in the world. Big Baldwin's in this.
Big Baldwin's in this.
And
he's great.
He's exceptional. When he's evil, he's just doing his Jack Donaghy. I have here in Best Single Minute the initial Baldwin introduction. Here's the Kremlin before. Here's the Kremlin after. He's just, going.
Also crazy to think that in that universe, the Kremlin just doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's done.
Like, how does that change history? That would absolutely impact history in such a major way. I would love to know what politics is like there.
Well, I did kind of find, that was back to Bond, but that was supposedly one of Danny Boyle's first ideas, was that, no, we're going to talk about the fallout of some of these activities. And, there'll be probably a war started with all the stuff that's happening. But they were like, no, let's do Spectre. No. Oscar travesty, that's what I need to talk about. Will's favourite building or set. Will isn't here, but in his absence, do you have a particular favourite set, Katrina?
The Opera House.
Yes.
The sets, it's just great.
It's rather excellent. Proceeds on to Best Single Minute. I've just talked about Alec Baldwin. I also have here one that I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it might be yours, and it's the meeting in the train station and let's leave together.
Yeah, I love that bit. So sweet. But then you also get the cool bit where Benji goes missing, and then she he's like, Luther, Luther's trying to get after her to grab her, and she gets up, and if you watch frame by frame, you can see her get up and walk away.
Yeah.
They did it. That wasn't like a cut. It was like a practical effect of the timing getting that right and her actually getting up and walking away, and it looks good.
It's just the little things that so many films skip over, and the minute you skip over the little things, you end up skipping the large things. Best line. Katrina, you famously don't take notes to spite me. I have here, join the IMF, see the world on a monitor in a closet. I greatly enjoyed the closing line, Mr. Secretary. Oh, it's very, very wry. I can neither confirm nor deny any details of any operation without the Secretary's approval. Very fun. I badmouthed Jeremy Renner, but I do actually quite enjoy him in this film. And
he's a lot better in this film. It's almost a shame he doesn't come back for Fallout, actually.
Yeah, I think that this is a nice groove he's in. I don't blame him for not coming back.
He was doing Avengers stuff, I think.
Jesus Christ.
We've
never met before, have we? It's very good.
I also like the Prime Minister. What's his name? Harry, the actor.
Night Manager. Drunk guy from The Night Manager. Drunk guy from About Time.
Harry. His name's Harry. Is his name Harry?
I'm gonna get it. The Night Manager. Okay, somebody's at the door. My command strips have arrived.
Oh,
So I
nice.
can put up some posters.
His name is Tom Hollander.
That's it, yeah.
But I quite like him in this.
Yes, I like Tom Hollander quite a lot,
I
actually.
like the actor who plays the MI6 guy.
Simon McBurney. Yeah.
He's got an interesting haircut.
Yes, that is true.
Take my eyes off it, actually.
Rather enticing, Mr. McBurney. Rather enticing. Yes, do you have any other best lines, Katrina? Best lines?
Best lines.
Yeah. No. Which brings us on to what's the change? I think I'm pretty negative on saying the name of things in movies. Like a Rogue Nation. I think the amount of times I enjoy that are definitely outweighed by the amount of times I don't like it.
Often feels a bit ham-fisted, a bit shoved in there.
Yeah. I know she says you've got all the things you could ever find to know me or whatever, but like Morocco is a big place and Casablanca is a big place.
Very big.
And then there is just
Casablanca though.
Well, she is called Ilsa.
It's almost like it was intentional.
But you would never know out of spite.
I've seen Casablanca.
Oh, you have seen Casablanca. Oh, is this the movie that you did end up watching?
And
you just never told me?
No, I told you like years ago. I watched it like 3 years ago.
Oh, what a wonderful film. Richard. Love Casablanca. I think sometime in the new year I should do.
I once commented a Casablanca not quote, but like reference on one of your Instagram posters, on one of your Instagram posts.
Let's have a look.
Of your headshots, and it was something like,
let's see. You commented on one. You commented on one. This one says, I've just received some news that's left me speechless. That's quite funny. You were very good, actually, with your comments on these. This one says, the waiters arrived with my plain steak and glass of red wine.
Which is so true.
That was just me being happy. And this one, and the third one, this one says, one last look before she gets on the plane to Lisbon. So so that is like, it is, oh, that's quite good, actually, yeah. Oh.
That's exactly what that look is.
I love Casablanca. That's one I haven't watched since. Doesn't matter.
Anyway,
yeah, no.
But this film, this film's good. I quite like how they get rid of the villain, shoving him in a box, and it's like, yeah. And Ethan's like, you shove me in a box and gas me out.
I have this in Tom's big question. How hard does Ethan really took that to really pushes that over? But I'm just talking about in general, just letting that glass box get to him. Like he brings up multiple times, and this time I'm not going to be in a box. Like he really didn't, and he set up this entire thing where he's going to put him in a box. He's like, he must really not have enjoyed that box encounter.
Really, but maybe he's claustrophobic. You don't know.
Oh yeah, poor Ethan. Snake boxes. Why did it have to be boxes?
What's in the box?
Oh, what's in the box? Another good movie. What's the change? Oh yeah, I put here the defibrillator. Why was the defibrillator there at the end of the tunnel? Was that there just in case? Did they plant that?
Maybe.
I don't, as we've discussed multiple times, I don't like when they say impossible or Mission Impossible. So I don't like it's impossible, and then Ethan and Benji going to each other.
To be fair, they are in the IMF.
Yeah. She's just like serving it up and knocking it out. And also, that is, I understand that there is such a thing as bulletproof glass, but that is so close for him to be shooting like 10 bullets. And for the just the
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, surely it bounced off and hit him.
there is like some collateral damage happening there, and I don't know what it would be. A few fun facts, Katrina. A few fun facts. How many times did Tom Cruise injure himself during the making of this movie?
7.
6.
Oh,
So close.
so close.
This is the first Mission Impossible movie in which every member of Ethan Hunt's IMF team is a veteran of at least one previous installment in the franchise. I'm going to say no, because Ilsa is part of the team. So, IMDb trivia with that Ilsa erasure, not a fan. A brief scene in which Ilsa pauses in the middle of an action sequence to remove her high-heeled shoes was singled out in reviews for its realism, especially in light of the just released Jurassic World.
Oh yeah, she runs around in her heels. It's like babes
running away from dinosaurs.
I can barely walk in heels. Never mind run from T-Rex.
Yeah. There was even the idea to highlight the scene in promotional trailers and television spots, but Tom Cruise and Christopher Macquarie refused, saying that it wasn't about twisting the knife. When training for the underwater scene, Tom Cruise was able to hold his breath underwater for 6 minutes.
That's impressive.
That's pretty great, and obviously to aid the filming and the multiple takes. Can you name the other movie that Tom Cruise and Alec Baldwin have starred in together, Katrina?
No.
Big ensemble movie from 2012. It's a musical.
Rock of Ages.
Rock of Ages is correct, yes. The tablet that Ilsa and Huntley use is a Microsoft Surface, and the phone that most of the characters use is a Nokia Lumia 930.
No way. Such interesting trivia we've got.
Eat shit. Here's an actual one. Sean Harris
Open the barrel.
originally agreed to appear as villain Solomon Lane on the proviso that his character be killed, as he didn't want to be in any sequels. So both so Christopher Macquarie and Tom Cruise agreed, but couldn't find a way to dispose of the character that felt narratively satisfying, because Ethan is so obsessed with this box idea. They should have put that scene in.
To be in that box.
We're gonna kill him. No. He's gotta be in a box. What? I don't understand.
We don't kill him, we gas him.
Yeah, they could have killed. Could have just killed. It's dead gas.
I don't think they do the gas killing on screens much anymore, and especially not in this kind of film. Essentially, not.
You're saying like this kind of film as if it's like a bar mitzvah, as if there's a bar mitzvah scene. It's not like Mission Impossible. You know, there are movies you can. It's a spy film. You can kill somebody with gas.
I guess so. Yeah.
I'm pro gas. We are in the middle of a gas crisis at time of recording.
At the time of recording, grab your petrol. Let's go.
Don't grab your petrol. That's the opposite of what you should be doing.
No, don't. I mean, I don't drive, so it doesn't affect me. So
anyway, so they were like, yeah, no, yeah, sure, we'll kill you, and then they couldn't think of an idea because they had the idea for the next film to have the breakout scene, basically. And Sean Harris's reaction to finding out that not only was his character being kept alive, but also featuring in the next movie, has not been recorded.
Yeah, but I'm not being funny. I bet he got paid bank for that. So
I was going to say, what are you complaining about?
He wasn't even.
Yeah, he wasn't even in the movie that much. I presume that's what you said.
Oh yeah, sorry, he wasn't in the movie that much.
I forgot to do this at the start. Katrina Unit 1-star review corner.
Oh,
I'm interested. No, I've got them up.
Okay.
Action overkill, hold up plot, mediocre script. All in all, they should have given it more time. A waste of time and money, predictable. One of the worst movies of 2015. It's a movie which, if made with actors like Mark Wahlberg, would probably be classed as B-grade stuff. There is no plot, acting is horrendous, and everything is forced. Oh, sorry, this was written by me. I would rather repeat watching Silence of the Lambs every week than watching these Michael Bay grade stuffs.
He doesn't feel Michael Bay at all to me.
Yeah. Watching this and Transformers mean the same. One shows robots farting, another has plot holes as big as a lake. Those are two very different things to me. And since when was a lake the thing that we say?
Some of these people are genuinely like not okay in the head. Like
Tom Cruise's face is more stuffed with Botox than John Kerry's. But although, like Matt Damon, Brad Pitt, and all the rest of the 80s, 90s dinosaurs, he's just getting too old for this sort of thing. He insists on playing the indestructible guy. Our geriatric hero can hold his breath for 3 whole minutes, in spite of the fact that he's doing acrobatics underwater. He flies off a motorcycle going at light speed and does not even get a scratch. Untrue. Untrue. Here we go. You'll enjoy this one. Jeremy Renner ruined a classic. Jeremy Renner has no business forcing his way into this series. He is a horrible actor and needs to establish his own presence before ruining others. I could only bear the first hour of this movie before turning it off. I loved the action scenes with like Tom Cruise with everybody. There seemed to be a forced story with shitty Jeremy Renner's character.
God, this guy hates Jeremy Renner, doesn't he?
This guy really dislikes Jeremy Renner.
I think Jeremy Renner needs to tighten his security or something.
So we've only got 2 taglines. Desperate times, desperate measures, which makes sense after the fact. And go rogue, which, as we've discussed multiple times, should technically be the tagline for every single film in this entire franchise.
Yeah, I mean, they just took it. I think this one, they were like, this one, and then it really does. Which is the only one where they don't suspect him of? Is it the second one? It's the second one.
It's the second. Yeah, second one. There's no problems. Yeah. Poor Ethan Hunt. Poor
Ethan Hunt. Can't catch a break, can he? Damn.
Tom's big question. I've talked about the glass box. We've talked about Tom Cruise's hair. What's our hair rating on this one?
I think his Fallout hair is my favourite still.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that next week. And chemistry. Who does he have the most chemistry with? We all know the answer.
I mean, it's everyone actually. I think
the receptionist lady in the final store. And Tom's final big question: how much do you want me to buy you the USB lipstick for Christmas?
Oh my God, I'd love that. I want that. Yeah, no, that's
Don't get too excited because I have no idea. I have no idea. And it would be so useless because you'd have like lipstick all over your desktop because like you'd have to shove it in.
You just leave the lid on.
I mean, I haven't been with a woman in years.
Me either.
Yeah. What a lovely note to end on.
Rogue Nation.
Rogue Nation. Go rogue! Whoa, we're gonna go rogue.
Dabba 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 da da ba 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 ba.